about NATO saying that it is brain dead.
Who said that?
President Macron.
I know, and then Turkey responded by saying that he was brain dead, which is interesting. Now, NATO serves a great purpose. It got to be unfair for the United States because the United States was paying a disproportionate amount. And I heard that President Macron said NATO is brain dead. I think that's very insulting to a lot of different forces, including a man that does a very good job in running NATO. Tough statement, though, when you make a statement like that, that is a very, very nasty statement to essentially 28, including them, 28 countries. I think that, you have a very high unemployment rate in France. France is not doing well economically at all. They're starting to tax other people's products, so therefore we go and tax them. It's just taking place right now in technology, and we're doing their wines and everything else. And it's a very tough statement to make when you have such difficulty in France. You look at what's happened with the yellow vests, or you look at what's going on during certain parts of their season. They've had a very rough year. And you just can't go around making statements like that about NATO. I would say that nobody needs NATO more than France. You just look back over the last long period of time. Nobody needs NATO more than France. And frankly, the one that benefits really the least is the United States. We benefit the least. We're helping Europe. Europe unites and they go against a common foe. That may or may not be a foe. Can't tell you that. But there are other foes out there also. But I think nobody needs it more than France. And that's why I think that when France makes a statement like they made about NATO, that's a very dangerous statement for them to make.
What's your relationship?
Look, I'm not in love with those companies, Facebook and Google and all of them, Twitter, although I guess I do pretty well with Twitter on the other side. But I'm not necessarily in love with those companies. But there are companies. They're American companies. I want to tax those companies. They're not going to be taxed by France. So France is going to put a tax on. It was totally out of the blue. He just had the idea. Emmanuel had an idea. Let's tax those companies. Well, they're American companies. I'm not going to let people take advantage of American companies, because if anyone's going to take advantage of the American companies, it's going to be us. It's not going to be France. And so we're taxing, as you know, we're taxing their wines and everything else. And we have a very, very big tax to put on them. Plus, we have a tax going on Airbus, and that'll be a good thing for Boeing, but we're only going to do that if it's necessary. As you know, we want, I say often, in Germany, they like Obama. The reason they like Obama is because Obama gave the ship away. He allowed them to take everything. He gave them things that I wouldn't do. And I love Germany. I love this country. I love a lot of countries, but I'm representing the U.S. So they may not like me because I'm representing us, and I represent us strong. President Obama did not represent us strong. He gave everything away, and you shouldn't have done that. And that's why we're still paying a price for what he did. So it's fine. I've always had a good relationship with Emmanuel. Sometimes he'll say things that he shouldn't say. And I disagree with some of his policies with respect to France, but he's got to do what he's got to do. But sometimes I think he does things that are counterproductive for his own country.
Mr. President,
You wouldn't like me for saying that, but France is no longer France. France. I wouldn't go to France. Because France is no longer France. France is no longer France. France is no longer France. France is no longer France.